Welcome. Could you find rewards in the desert? This early 16th century painting of Christ in the wilderness raises an interesting question. It focuses not on the devil or the temptations or Jesus' responses to the temptations, but on the scene after the devil has gone. Artworks that depict the end of a biblical story tend to be focused on the payoff or the lesson of the story, the emotion of the aftermath or resolution, or the relationship between the outcome and the story's expectations. This painting seems to contain some of each. As the story is told in the Gospel of Matthew, when the devil left Jesus, the angels came and ministered to him or attended to him or waited upon him, depending on which translation of the Bible you use. And certainly the artist has depicted the angels flying around the scene. The two behind Jesus are obvious. But notice there is also a group of more subtle angels in the background off to the left. But what I find much more interesting about this painting is Jesus' attitude. His posture, the look on his face, his hands. He seems like he's just about to rest his chin in his right hand. It looks like as soon as he realized the encounter was over, he plopped down on the ground with a phew. This is one of the places where I start to think about Jesus being fully God and fully a human being. The human being part must have been beat after an encounter with such difficult temptations. But I think he would also have been very relieved that he didn't succumb to the temptations. What do you think he's thinking about in this moment? Is he replaying the exchange in his head? Is he wondering what kinds of temptations the devil will throw at him the next time? Perhaps he's grateful for the 40 days he just spent in fasting and prayer. Maybe he doesn't think he would have done so well if he had been caught up in the busyness of his day-to-day life. Do you ever take time for fasting and prayer? How does it strengthen you? Could you get closer to choosing to ride along with God's will, God's love, if you took some retreat time? It's funny, but in a way there's another potential temptation for Jesus in this painting, but he doesn't seem to experience it as such. He seems oblivious to it, in fact. Notice how the animals are kneeling before him, and the birds, either in praise of what he has just accomplished in responding to temptation by turning toward God, or just in worship of his identity as the second person of the Trinity. As animals, they may be acutely aware of how hard it is to choose something other than the animal passions. But from Jesus' perspective, this kind of praise or bowing down could lead to a feeling of hubris or pride. But Jesus seems oblivious to that here. He seems mostly to be grateful to have survived the encounter. What temptations would you face if you retreated from daily life for a day or two, or even for an hour or two? What rewards would come to you in such a prayerful interlude in your life? How would those rewards empower you to face your temptations head on and choose God's path? How would that feel? Thank you for watching. God bless.